There's a panic in Moscow. It's engulfed in fires. Russia is burning.
Good morning, everyone. We're having a fire emergency here, to put it mildly.
Oh, how scary, really. Look how frightening it is. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, all of it.
This is what visibility looks like. You can't even see the car. We're driving with our hazard lights and headlights on. There's nothing left to breathe. We're literally suffocating. Homes have been destroyed. People have been evacuated. A state of emergency has been declared.
It's burning up above. And the car is parked below in Malinovka. Right, next to the fire trucks, on the hill. We're burning.
We've already made our first flight now. There's a fire at the airfield. 2, right by the runway. Our firefighters are working directly at the airfield. They're saving the equipment there because it's very close to the helicopters and the An-2. The situation here is also difficult.
380,000 hectares are on fire. People were evacuated from areas where the fire came right up to residential buildings and skyscrapers.
Look at what's happening. That's where the airport is.
Russians are trapped by fire. In Russia, a cosmodrome could burn to the ground. Hellish landscapes. Several thousand people, including rescuers, have been mobilized to fight the fires. About 800 smoke jumpers from other regions, 250 pieces of equipment and aircraft are unable to extinguish the fires.
The second aircraft is also preparing for takeoff. We're putting out a fire in the Smolenka area, so we continue working. Take care of yourselves.
Tens of thousands of Russians have been left without homes, without heat, without electricity.
Grandpa, just leave it alone.
Please calm down. Don't panic. Everyone will be let out now. Where are you going to go? Out into the field or something?
Even if it's out in the field, at least I'll be alive. Better than flying with a fire on board.
Passengers on the Aeroflot Bangkok-Moscow flight nearly died. Pop survived an emergency landing and came under fire.
All you young people, go home.
We're at war. War! War! Are you crazy or something?
Oh, what? All the airports in Russia are shut down.
Here in Russia.
All planes are being sent back. All flights have been canceled. Who's gonna bring you back?
Breaking news, friends. Russia is on fire. Literally all of Russia is engulfed in flames. A state of emergency has been declared. Total collapse and mass evacuation.
This is what visibility looks like. You can't even see the car. We're driving with our hazard lights and headlights on. There's nothing to breathe anymore. We're just completely suffocating.
It's already right next to us.
First of all, the airport in Chita is on fire. The Chita airfield. They're trying to save the equipment. The situation is difficult. It's a firefighting collapse. Good morning, everyone. We're having a firefighting collapse here, so to speak. We've already made the first flight now. I'm behind the wheel. There's a fire at the airfield, too. Our firefighters are working right at the airfield. They're saving the equipment there because it's very close to the helicopters and the An-2. The situation here is also difficult. So we're working. The second crew is also getting ready to take off. We're putting out a fire in the Smolenka area. That's how things are. So we keep working. Take care of yourself. A wall of fire right by the highway in the Amur region. And there's a massive forest fire raging there.
Oh. How scary, really. Look how terrifying it is. Unbelievable.
Hellish landscapes greet drivers on the road from Blagoveshchensk to Svobodny. Near the village of Moskovitovo i Moskovitino, hundreds of trees are burning. People are filming what's happening. They are terrified. Russia is terrified. The footage is no less nightmarish.
Absolutely unbelievable. Every single bit of it, truly, in every possible way. I just can't believe it, honestly.
Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let's get started with this segment.
We're waiting for your call. Yes, the line is already ringing. We're taking it out here into the field. Come over.
The Zabaikalsky Krai is engulfed by massive fires. Homes have been destroyed, people evacuated, and a state of emergency has been declared. The fight against large-scale forest fires continues in the Zabaikalsky Krai. A state of emergency has been in effect there since the end of April. According to the Ministry of Emergency Situations, there are currently more than 50 active fire sites in the region, covering an area of 380,000 hectares.
The wind is turning towards Zabaikalsk. That's where the keys are, where people draw water. On the opposite side, there is a very strong fire.
People have been evacuated from areas where the fire came right up to residential buildings. Several thousand people are currently involved in firefighting efforts, including rescuers, about 800 smoke jumpers from other regions, and 250 units of equipment and aircraft. The work is complicated by weather conditions and the proximity of the fire to populated areas. Dasha buildings have been damaged, with dozens of homes destroyed. It is known that dozens of houses have burned down. 30 structures and another 50 plots have been affected. In Chita, the administrative center of the Zabaikalsky Krai, the Kadala airport, had previously suspended operations temporarily. It was simply surrounded by a forest fire which disrupted air traffic for dozens of hours. The main cause is said to be careless handling of fire during strong winds. This was reported by the region's Minister of Natural Resources, Pavel Volozhin. Local pro-Russian Telegram channels write that the fires may be set intentionally. Pro-Russian forces found neatly stacked dry branches and empty oil canisters in the forests. In one of Chita's districts, Du, 3 men were detained today. Volunteers noticed that they were driving deeper into the forest toward the fire. The circumstances are now being investigated. Russians, look at this footage. See how people are trapped in a fiery cage. In Russia, the Cosmodrome and nearby houses could burn to the ground.
Oh, how terrifying, really. Look how scary it is. Unbelievable.
Right now, the forests of the Amur region are burning on a massive scale. A fire also broke out near a gas boiler house. It's almost impossible to get out of the city because the trees along the roads are burning. This natural disaster is simply taking revenge on Russia for all the atrocities it has committed against Ukraine and other countries. The total area of the fires has exceeded 3,000 hectares. It is noted that the city, with a population of just over 7,000 people, is home to employees of the Vostochny Cosmodrome. The Cosmodrome itself is located 25 kilometers from the city. A state of emergency has been declared in Buryatia due to forest fires. Currently, according to the regional government, there are 30 active fires in the republic, covering an area of more than 53,000 hectares. If there are no large-scale fires in Russia, then it's just not Russia. This time, Zabaikalsky Krai has been hit. According to the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations, fires there have covered an area of more than 576,000 hectares. Forest fires in the Amur region have reached the science town of Tsiolkovsky, and right now, they are threatening 15 new apartment buildings. At least 2,000 Russians live there who are leaving their homes on their own. There is no mass evacuation. Once again, friends, an evacuation in the city still hasn't been announced. Tsiolkovsky is located 15 kilometers from the Vostochny Cosmodrome. About 6,000 people live there. many of whom are employees of the station. Smoke is enveloping the city. People have nothing to breathe, and strong winds continue to fan the flames and hinder firefighting efforts. The fire has reached right up to residential buildings, outbuildings, and garages. Across the road from the new apartment blocks are already burning. The total area of the fire in the region is more than 3,000 hectares.
It's really close by. And
So that's behind the mill, right? Where the little animal is? You mean Lesovad? That whole area over there, basically. 4 fire trucks went in there, and now 2 more just arrived.
You could even drop me off in the field, I don't care. At least I'd be alive instead of flying and burning alive. Passengers on the Aeroflot Bangkok-Moscow flight first went through an emergency landing in New Delhi due to problems with the fuel tank, and then found out that just a few minutes after landing, the Indian airport came under fire.
Girl, give me the phone!
Man, calm down. No need to panic. Everyone will be let off. Where are you going to go? Out into the field or something? No phones here.
Girl, even if it's into the field, at least I'll be alive. Better that than flying and burning alive. Do you understand? Find me a power source. Then note your seat and let the technical staff through.
Girl, I just need a power source, nothing else. Where are the medicines? We have a difficult dispatcher, but everything will be fine anyway.
Woman, I'll take you there to the kitchen. It's easier there.
Woman, come on, I'll check your blood pressure. Check my blood pressure for me.
Woman, calm down. Subtitles by Dimatorzan. Woman, there's no need to panic. Woman, I'll take you there to the kitchen. It's easier there.
Man, there was a strange smell. Subtitles by Dimatorzak.
Girl, what happened? Is there perhaps some kind of ranking or something?
Man, there's a war going on here. War. War. Is everything because of the aftermath or what? Man. What kind? Which ones? All the airports in Russia are shut down. In Russia, man, all the planes are being sent back. All flights have been canceled. Who's going to get you back?
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
The plane took off in Russia, but the 9-hour flight had to be interrupted. 4 hours after takeoff, a strong smell of burning plastic appeared in the cabin. The crew was unable to quickly identify the source of the smell. One of the flight attendants came into the cabin with a fire extinguisher. Panic broke out in the cabin. One of the passengers, overcome with emotion, begged for the plane to land as soon as possible, even if it was just in a field anywhere. Other passengers tried to remain calm, but it was clear they were struggling to do so. The pilots decided to land the plane at the nearest airport. The aircraft was received in New Delhi. Before landing, the captain dumped fuel. After the plane landed safely, staff at the Indian airport inspected it and discovered that there had been a short circuit in the multimedia system in row 27. But even after this ordeal, the passengers' troubles were not over. Immediately after landing, India closed its airspace due to shelling from Pakistan. Bismillah ar-Rahman. On the 10th May, at the time of Fajr, we gave great value, plane. Alhamdulillah. The plane that was supposed to pick up the passengers couldn't reach Delhi because the airspace was closed. The Russians were only able to return home 2 days later. Their plane finally landed in Moscow. The joys of life in a superpower. In Surgut, a child almost drowned in mud. The boy got stuck knee-deep in Putin's prosperity and couldn't get out on his own. According to local residents, a swamp forms in this spot every spring, and the authorities have no intention of doing anything about it. And then Gladkov accused the residents of profiting from the shelling. The governor of the Belgorod region stated that some residents of border areas deliberately exposed their property to shelling in order to receive compensation. There you have it, the true face of the Russian motherland.
Governor of Belgorod region, they set a car on fire, tried to plant an FPV drone they had found.
They found it somewhere in the bushes in order to pass it off as a car that had been shot at and get compensation.
Let's roll the car out of the garage. Maybe it'll get shot at least we'll get some money out of it. Gladkov quoted a conversation he allegedly overheard.
Unfortunately, I myself have heard relatives talking, saying, "Let's take it out. Our village is being shelled. Let's roll the car out of the garage. Maybe it'll get hit, at least we'll get some money. The car is old, can't do anything with it, can't sell it." So I have just one request. Through door-to-door visits, yes, we should insist that people keep their personal vehicles in garages. We understand that if there's a direct hit, there's nothing more you can do. But we also see this on social media. Let's demand to be relocated. Otherwise the war will end and we'll still be living in these old houses. So it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 settlements where we see a separate group starting to form with certain residents trying to take the lead and attempt to get government assistance, even though in reality they have no right to it.
Gladkov ordered law enforcement to check whether people are actually keeping their cars in garages. Obviously, the police and the military in the border areas simply have nothing better to do, my friends. What irritates the governor even more are people who, under the pretext of shelling, want to move into new housing at the government's expense. It never even occurs to officials that people simply wouldn't need any government assistance. If it weren't for Putin's madness, bringing war to the Belgorod region, and in the collection of the underage Kadyrov Jr., there's a new medal. But there's a nuance. The possible heir to the Chechen throne already has more awards than years he has lived, and this one is dedicated to the 25th anniversary of the Akhmat Grozny Omon. Since everyone is already used to Adam Kadyrov being awarded something every week, no one would have paid attention to this medal if, in the video of the award ceremony, the crosses on the Russian coat of arms hadn't been erased for some reason. In fact, in Russia, there is an article of law regarding desecration of state symbols. And what's more, law enforcement officers are happy to use this article only against opposition figures. Please like and subscribe to Dasha Seidel on YouTube. Comment your thoughts. And now, let's take a look at an analysis of Russian propaganda. We're not sadists after all. Simonian hopes that after the negotiations in Istanbul, the bloodshed will stop. After all, before Putin, it was impossible to imagine a war against the entire West, in which Russia would be winning. Putin has already put an end to hegemony. All that's left is to put the final period at the negotiations. Indeed, before Putin, no one could have imagined that Russia would start a war with Ukraine.
As of today, we are at war with the entire so-called West. We are at war. We're not fighting Ukraine in Ukraine. Even Trump said that if it weren't for us, this war would have ended in 3 days. Isn't that true? He did say that. So, we're fighting all of them. And we're winning. Can you imagine that? Could you have imagined that before Putin? No, it was impossible. That's why, for a person of Russian culture, Russian history, living in Russia, supporting Putin is a matter of pride. Do they think they're insulting me by saying that? No, they're not insulting me at all. The world will no longer be unipolar. That's it. Hegemony is over, and who ended it? Putin ended it. Vladimir Vladimirovich. That's exactly why we are proud. To be his trusted representatives, or, as you said, Putinists. To sit down, talk, and come to an agreement. That's all. And to put an end to all of this. No one likes that people are dying. I don't like it. You know, I'm sure that Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin doesn't like it at all either, that people are dying. If people had not died, if they had not started to destroy our people in 1914, this war that is going on now would not have started. Do you understand? It wouldn't have started from the very beginning. We really hope that negotiations will actually take place and people will stop dying. No one likes it when blood is being shed. We're not sadists.
If you ever wondered what to give a priest as a gift, the answer is obvious. A yacht, a Mercedes, or an apartment in the center of Moscow. But really, just whatever you can manage. A little reminder, look, there's a grain of truth, but in every joke. And everything else is true.
What can you give a priest as a gift? What kind of...
Well, the classic options are a yacht, a Mercedes, or an apartment on Tverskaya. And after that, you can...
Do what you can.
Yes. Just scale it down according to your means.
Well, it's just...
I've given you a benchmark.
People are curious.
Any athlete should know all the Olympic standards. Even a school kid. Everyone seems to know that a school kid should run 100 meters in 10 seconds. 10 minutes is perfectly fine, too.
People are curious, for example, when, say a priest performs a sacrament, like a baptism or something else. And the question is, how do you thank the priest? It's always an awkward situation at that moment.
On the one hand, half the people curse us for having price tags in churches. And the other half curse us for not having them because then they don't know how much to give.
They quote how to thank the priest so as not to offend him.
This always amuses me. I smile inwardly. When someone gives an uneven amount, when it's clear that, let's say, well, hypothetically, 100 rubles seems too little, but 200 is too much. So they hand over 150, right? You can tell the person was bargaining with themselves inside. It's always a bit upsetting when the amount is uneven.
Dear defenders of our motherland, our land, our humanity, I congratulate you on Victory Day. We already achieved victory on May 9th, and I believe that very soon we will have another victory. I wish all of you to stay alive and return home to your families. I wish you all strength, health, and of course love. We are waiting for you, waiting and hoping for peace. We are waiting for peace together with you. And of course, for our victory. Happy Victory Day.
Here is a deranged, disgusting, vile, talentless, devilish character. That a petty demon impotent, a horse lover, Nevzorov yesterday once again buried Gherkin and then resurrected Gherkin. Both the first and the second went unnoticed. But the goal is to hype up what's happening with the remnants of Strelkov's followers, Montyan, Grubnik, and all sorts of other Ukrainian crypto scum who flooded into our country because of the stupidity and vulgarity of certain uniformed officials who, instead of doing their jobs, sometimes like to abuse their power, not to fight enemies, but to show off who they're protecting and why. If they knew what they were doing, they would have handled it properly by now. If they knew, they would have dealt with it competently already. If they knew, the entry on February 24th, 2022 would have been carried out differently. A lot of things would be different now on the territory of Ukraine. And of course, there will be a reckoning ahead. And after our victory, a lot will need to be done. Many names will have to be named, and some very serious conversations will need to happen. Undoubtedly, it's not up to me. The Supreme Commander-in-Chief, of course, will conduct the debriefing. I just want every foreigner to get this into their head. We will win. And notice, during this press conference, statement, Putin said that this is a war.
Yes.
I noticed that too. It's the first time
Comma separated.
said that it's a war.
So that this doesn't spread across Ukraine, so that all sorts of scum don't read it, a video went viral online, showing women destroying Russian classics. According to them, they managed to destroy 3 bags of Russian books. 2 more are still in the process. They plan to send everything for recycling.
Well, here we go, round 2. What do we have here? Lermontov? Into the trash. Dostoevsky. What did he write here? Crime and punishment. There's the crime. Where's the punishment? We're taking it for recycling. Here are the backstanding. Chekhov, on whom the terrorists grew up, who then gouge out the eyes of our journalists and cut their tracheas. Tatiana's books. Pushkin, Alexander Harmatny in our language. Into the trash, scumbag. All of this goes in the trash. Pushkin. Chekhov. Chekhov. How could we do without Chekhov? There too, we're tearing these books up when wasting our precious time so that this scum, these bastard tendrils don't spread around the world, so that it doesn't spread across our Ukraine, so that all sorts of vermin don't read them. No more. Chekhov. Chekhov. And here, what's this? Chekhov. Yeah, there are already 3 bags, and now 2 more. Didn't have time before, but now I do. Farewell, Dasha. Farewell, trash. Throw away this useless junk. And burning it wouldn't be right, but it's better to turn it in for recycling. Let it be put to use. Just a small pile.
Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel to be happy, and write a few kind words in the comments to support Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. We will definitely win.